All right, here we are. We are going live and excited to be here. We had some technical difficulties, and we figured it out. Shut it all down, come on back, and now it's gone. So, whatever, we're here and excited for this conversation. Where are we going to focus our attention to move forward? I think it's a big part of where we need to start looking at things. We can get caught in all the different stuff that we've been caught in the past. And ultimately, if we're still talking about them, we're bringing them forward. So let's talk about where are we going, how can we move forward, and all those different things. And as we start, think about what are the problems? What are the problems? Here we go. When I am asked to speak, I embrace the calling. It is my responsibility to make sure to leave everyone inspired to elevate in all aspects of life. In the 26 states and 10 countries, it has been my energy that is infectious and magical. The impact elevates everyone to new heights. It's time to conquer our challenges. Relationships across the board, communication gaps, fear of the unknown, limited beliefs in all that holds us hostage in life. The path to power is peace, and peace is the power to live by. The unique perspective that I bring to the table inspires all, professionals, executives, students, coaches, and athletes, to reach their highest potential. That is why I, Sid McNary, am known as the secret weapon. Whether it is tackling mental health issues, success in business, or winning at life, every moment counts. Get ready to receive the tools to win. It's time to win at everything. Let's connect today. Peace.
Hello, my name is Miles. Discover a powerful journey of resilience, purpose, and spiritual growth in the autobiography of a human by Sid McNary. In this compelling autobiography, McNary shares the personal challenges and triumphs that shaped his path to success while offering insight for professionals seeking deeper meaning and balance in their own lives. Drawing from his experiences growing up Catholic, participating in indigenous vision quests, and studying the Buddhist path, he reveals how diverse spiritual traditions ultimately guide us toward the same destination, connection with the Creator and our highest selves. Through practices such as meditation, yoga, and spirit medicine, McNary demonstrates how life's victories and hardships can become opportunities for growth, self-discovery, and lasting peace. The autobiography of a human is more than a memoir. It is an inspiring reflection for professionals striving to align purpose, personal development, and inner clarity. Available now on Amazon, this transformative story invites readers to reflect, grow, and step confidently onto their own path of self-discovery and peace.
All right, here we are. It's great to get started with everybody and excited for this conversation because it's about time. Like, we've been talking through a lot of different stuff that are the problems, the good, the evil, yada, yada, yada. And let's get to where are we going? Let's start to move into that place with solution. What's up, fellas? How you doing?
Awesome. What's going on, guys?
Chris, you on your phone?
Yes, I am.
Can you turn it horizontally? Bang! There we go. That's it right there. As long as it didn't lose you.
Well, now it keeps going off when I do it that way.
Hey, so just an FYI, when Chris speaks, I'm hearing echoing. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm hearing echoing. When he speaks. We'll try again.
Say something, Chris.
Say something, Chris. I've got my earbuds in. Yeah, my computer is. We had a power outage last night, and it's my computer's not booting up.
Sid, are you hearing echoing on your end when Chris speaks? So it's
No.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I've got my earbuds in, so it shouldn't
No,
be canceling out.
you're good.
Yeah, I don't. That was why we were a little late, which made you on time because we were trying to figure out the echo, but I didn't hear an echo. I forced an echo because I know how to make the echo, but then I even dropped out so that. Yeah, I only had one thing, so there shouldn't have been an echo, but now You came and now he hears an echo, but I don't hear an echo. So there's something interesting. Yeah. So,
Well,
you know,
I can try to take my earbuds out.
I don't think it's on your end, Chris.
I don't
Oh,
either.
okay.
No, I don't know. It's just weird. Well, we were having technical difficulties. Sid said, "How did we resolve them?" He logged in and logged out. That's how we resolved the technical difficulties.
Right.
Sid, you may
Right.
want to try it again. I don't know if you want to try it quick again.
If I log out, what will that do to the show?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I'm getting that echoing again now.
But I don't hear it. Let's see if
Okay.
somebody listening,
Yeah.
give us a comment. Do you hear echoes?
I can
Yeah.
hear it
That's
from
it for
him.
me.
You hear it from me now?
No, no, no. I hear it from Dr. Vibe.
Oh,
And I hear it from Chris.
come on. We got 15, 20 plus people here.
Okay, we'll just go. We'll just go with what we got.
Right on, right on. All right, let's get into it. And here's how I want to start moving into this conversation. Just in general, just rapid fire. What are the problems in the world? And one, rapid
Rapid
fire.
fire.
Like we're not gonna dive into them. We're just gonna. What are the problems? Sex trafficking. That's one of them. That's
Okay, I can kick. Chris, you want to kick off first?
No, go for it.
Yeah, I got coming from a men's lens. I got things like mental health and emotional literacy, purpose and identity, relationships and community, work, money and stability, health and longevity, leadership and responsibility, digital life and attention, character and values. There we go.
all right. That's the list. That's a big list right there. It's not the only list. Like we have racial problems. We have trafficking of humans. We still have slavery in many places. Um,
AI data centers, our water, climate change, political instability, lack of trust, Gen Zs and the male loneliness problem.
Yes.
We got no shortage.
So Sid, what you do is you do this on replay, and then for the next probably 20 weeks, you've got conversation topics.
well, the thing though is, all right. So we have. I'm not sure that the world could it ever be problemless. Yes. Will it? I don't know. Right? Like that's could it? Absolutely. Anything's possible. Will it? I don't know. So with that being said, where should we focus our attention to move forward? Because if Tony were here, it would have quickly gone political. And all right, where are we going to put our focus that's going to move us forward? And I don't think we can focus on the problem. The problem's going to help the problem grow. Like, look at how long we've been focused on cancer. Are they closer? I don't know. I hope they're closer. So for me, when I look at this thought of where do we focus our attention to move forward, the first thing that really comes up for me is taking our awareness into the Creator. The Creator created everything. None of us reached in a woman and made ourselves into a baby. So just that alone, it has way more awareness around the future than we do. And so so yeah, that's where I am. Like, how do I shift all these problems? Putting my awareness to the Creator. Thoughts?
Oh,
I think it goes back to like realizing that we are all part of the solution rather than part of the problem, and that we need to kind of really focus inward on what we can do within ourselves and with our families and within our communities, because so oftentimes we want to change the world and we're saying, oh, the government should do this, the president should do this, these groups should do this. But realistically, how much power do we have in that unless we unite together and kind of raise our voices all at one time? But we do have the ability to take a situation in our life that may be a personal problem and take that and say, okay, what can I do to be a part of the solution? What can I do within my own set of skills and opportunities to make this better, so that as I do so, I make myself better and I make myself a more integral part of the solution in the global respect. And perhaps as I do that, other people recognize the fact that I can do it and they can do it too. And perhaps one by one, we create a wave, we create an ocean, a tide, if you will, that says, all right, now that we are able to do these things on a micro level, let's do this on a macro level. What do you guys think?
If I have permission to add on to what
Yeah, go for it.
Chris and Sid, my mind was running on the whole word of purpose and identity. And I think it somewhat aligns with what both of you have said, but I think it all starts with a man's purpose. And his if his purpose and identity are right, then I believe good things will flow from that. Let me put it this way: whatever a man's purpose and identity is, it will show in his behaviors and actions, not only to himself but to others.
Uh,
So,
yeah, go.
so I hope that somewhat aligns with what both of you have said. I think you know, getting Sid, you were saying, getting close to God. I think that's part of your purpose at this time, and the closer you get to God, the more that overflows in how you treat yourself and also your identity to yourself and others.
Yeah,
Hope that
yeah,
makes some sense there.
Yeah, it does.
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I've always thought, and probably why I recklessly pursue Christ and God and anything that's elevating, is if one person gets there, we all get there. Because it starts to affect, well, we are one. We can't separate from each other. So if one person really gets there at this point in time, I think we all start to move there. And we're closer than ever, I think. Like now, obviously Jesus got there, right? Like at least from a biblical standpoint, and 2.9 billion people are supposedly practicing Christians. Notice I said supposedly. And so then, if one person truly gets there by following Christ, that would be the second coming. And I think the second coming becomes a different aspect than the first. It's now not the first, like the Bible. If you read the Bible, it's all pointing to one person. The whole Bible is about Jesus. Everything in the Bible is about getting to Jesus, which is wild when I thought about that, and I've been reading it, and it's like, oh, there it is. And now I'm starting to see it more and more. Like, this whole book is pointing to the Messiah. And now we are living past that, right? Like, so that's the Old Testament pointing to the Messiah. New Testament, Messiah comes. Now what? We are living in the now what, which the now what is when the second coming. And so how do we get there? From my perspective, I must continue to strive towards the Creator so that the second coming comes. Yeah, it really shows up like that for me. Go ahead.
Sid, if I have permission to interrupt, and I'd also like to get Chris's thoughts on this. Listen to everything you said. There was a few things that stuck out. One of the things you mentioned is that we are closer than ever. Do we believe that?
I do.
these times? Because a
I'm
lot of
not
people,
sure about the world.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hey, right? I'd love to get Chris's lens on that statement because I think if us three went out on the streets on any city and we asked that question, it'd be very interesting the myriad responses we get. I don't think we'd all get the same response.
Which question was that? You guys went dark for a second.
Yeah, no problem. Well, Sid had mentioned about he feels that we're more closer than ever. Love to get your lens on that.
Jeez, yeah. Well, my computer finally came up. That is, I think that's probably depending on who you ask. I find a lot of people think that the end of the world is coming and they're pretty convinced based on what they've read in the Bible and all the different signs they see. I also talk to people who feel that we're on the cusp of humanity uniting and us telling elected officials and all the corrupt people in the world that you can't beat us when we're together. And so I think it's just, again, like you said, it depends on who we talk to. But I choose to always believe on the side of hope, and I choose to believe on the side of humanity. I believe that we're more different than we are the same, and I think it just takes that levee to break a little bit, and people will start to have that reassurance and that comfort that together we can make things different and write it for our kids and our kids' kids coming up through the ages. So it's kind of a perspective of either way, perhaps we win. But I think at the same time, people are finding that they aren't using their voice and they're not using their actions to make a difference. So I think that's possibly what we're going to see. And hopefully it's not a divisionary situation where, at least here in the United States, it becomes a civil war. But I've done my fair share of thinking about it, and parts of me are excited, but there are a lot of parts of me that are worried about what people who don't care about humanity might do if resources get cut short, say for example water or food or gas. So it's a precarious situation, but I err on the side of love and humanity.
Well, I'd say that. Okay, here's why I don't just say, oh, we're closer for the sake, because I'm just saying it. I feel we're closer because we have more people recognizing things that were hidden to most. Like, a lot of people did not have the awareness around racism unless you were in it. And now people are talking about it, which says, okay, we're closer. We're closer to clearing this up. Women are moving into sectors where they weren't, which is beautiful. We're getting more sports equal in how we respect sports, how we pay for sports. Same thing in all these different avenues. All these things are getting closer and closer to the middle. And so to me, that's where I sit with that. We're getting closer. And it's going to come. Now, the things of, we had computers are all going to shut down. That was Y2K, right? Like, didn't happen because we got closer. And as we got closer, it didn't. For me, I look at the creator as one. The creator created everything. I don't care if it only created the very first thing. Everything that came after that was created from the first thing. So the creator created everything. The creator created love. So everything in it is love. It's our limited view that causes us not to see the love that is actually there, no matter what it is. And I just see us getting to this point where we are starting to recognize that it all has been done on purpose.
All on purpose in what respect? I mean, all according to the book, or can you explain more about that? More about that?
All right, purpose. What is the purpose of it all? Like, to me, the purpose has been and still will be. It's like the first cell divided itself in half, got rid of everything that sucked, then it divided itself in half and gave to the next. That is the purpose of everything that comes after that. Everything is meant to let go of the negative and evolve to a better. We're all the first cell. Everybody, everything comes from the first cell, and then it divided into the animal kingdom and the plant kingdom, but it still came from the root of it, the first cell. So whether you want to call it God or you want to call it science or doesn't really matter. There was a beginning. There was a beginning. And the beginning has allowed us all to be here, whatever that is. So it's still continually evolving. Science will show you Earth rotating and expanding. We are growing into something. Do I know exactly what that looks like? No, but I'm just watching what we have proven, what I do know, what is there. And it's like, okay, Chris, you want me to switch you up?
Yeah, let's try and see if it gets rid of this
echo.
All right. So there's that, like really allowing everything to be seen. You know, the truth will set you free. The truth is, even the things that we may see as bad, is why I had a purpose. So I'm more, God is purpose. And God's purpose has been to get everything to the kingdom, which is total love, unconditional, where everything is bliss. Everything becomes like God's love. Like, okay, some people would be like, well, what about supernatural things, natural destructions? Well, when those destructions happen, it's because humans have likely screwed something up, and then God comes and wipes it out, and it re-cleans the earth. I've watched it on hurricanes. I've watched it on tsunamis. Things change. Like, it just is what it is. So it's constantly cleansing and refreshing, growing and growing. I just see it as us moving into this place. But one of the number one things we must do is stop thinking we're in control of any of it. Stop trying to, because really everything that we try to control usually messes up the place.
I found in my life at 57 years old, Sid, for the most part of my life, I felt I was in control. I felt I was in control of the narrative of what I was thinking and what I was doing and the impact I was having on people. And then I started to realize, I started to look around and I'm like, why do good things happen to why do bad things happen to good people? Why do people get sick? What's going on here? And I started recognizing that sometimes things are just absolutely out of our control. And perhaps there is some solace in realizing that our hand isn't on the wheel. And depending if you believe in God, source, universe, however you want to say it, there is a bit of a release and a surrender in saying, okay, I do have free will. I have the ability to get up right now and go downstairs and not participate in this. I have free will to go get on my bicycle, whatever it might be. But I'm learning as I get older, there's a bigger plan. There's something else at play, and there is a freedom in being able to say, you know what? It's going to happen the way it's going to happen. What's up to me is how I respond to it or I react to it. And I can respond to it and say, okay, here's the situation. Here are the facts. Here's the different ways I can respond to this. Or we can get an emotional state and trigger us. And why is this happening to me? And become a victim and make retaliatory decisions that affect the outcome also. So I think it's just a matter of, like yesterday, I had to deal with something and I just told myself, it is what it is. Like me being upset, me being mad, me being frustrated, me feeling blamed or whatever it might be, there's nothing going to change it. The only thing that's going to change it is me waking up today and recognizing, okay, I've got a couple of things that I can do within my own power, and whatever those things are that I do are going to send out ripple effects, and I'll have to deal with the outcomes of those. And I think that's something that people need to take into consideration, is there's a consequence for every action. And I think sometimes we half-nilly do these things and we hope, wish, and pray that something sticks or something happens, when I think we all need to be more careful and considerate of the power of our mind and what those actions can really bring for us in the long term. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, if I have permission to jump in.
You don't have to ask permission, man. Just jump in.
I did. Just the way I am. So polite. I receive. I agree that. Then would we agree to say that one of the things that men need to focus on is that there's some things they're not going to have control of, and the word acceptance and submission are part of that.
I mean, I would say that there is nothing we have control of.
Okay. Oh, but before we go any further, Sid, someone I really respect has been contributing to the conversation, coaching with Dr. Alicia. I respect Dr. Alicia so much. So it's good to have her in the conversation, and she's a powerful believer in the strength of men, and she is all good, great therapist, clinical psychiatrist, MSW, etc., etc. I respect her so much, so it's good to have her contributing to the conversation. So thanks for being here, Dr. Alicia.
And I'll second that just because my sister's name's Alicia. So right on. Glad you're here. Yeah, good stuff. I mean, it's really something about us letting go of this idea that we need to control this. And that's everybody. Like, that's everybody, myself included. If there's something I'm trying to control, let go, because there's something already driving it. No matter what comes up in my life, it was all on purpose, or it wouldn't even exist. Now, what I'm guided by in many ways is like a baby is guided by God. Very easily. Easy to prove. A baby gets wet, they cry. A baby's dry, calms down. Baby gets hungry, cry. Baby gets fed, calms down. Like, they already know like and dislike from the very beginning. And so we're already guided like that. And so now, are we listening to when something feels right, something feels off? And if we listen deep enough, it is just guiding us. And most people aren't listening to their own, some people call it intuition. But you don't even have intuition without God giving you intuition. And so for me, I'm living into that space of, okay, I'm listening. Oh, I said this. And the repercussion of what happened says, you might not want to say that anymore. Stop saying it. Stop. And it takes a little bit of an emotional intelligence, to really stop and pay attention to what is happening. Now I hear it. But I think might be you, Chris, doing something in the background. But it's Dr. Bott. And it's like, okay, I can look at Dr. Vibe's face and figure out, it's whatever he's doing. He ain't liking it. So God is saying, don't do that anymore. That's it. Like, when are we going to get out of our own way? That's my thing. And especially, men have been in our own way. We're starting to get less men in the way. Let's not go too far and put women in our way. And when I say our, I'm talking all of humanity's way. We got to accept that it was all created perfectly. Perfectly. We can't even come close to the pharmacy moving in the human body. When it comes to recover from flu, recover from COVID, like all these things that have been introduced, some people their body's just mine. I didn't take any of them shots. I'm just not into them. Why? Because I took one flu shot in my life. I got sick as the cows come home. I've never taken it since.
Yep.
Which said, I'm not taking your COVID shot. I already had that guidance. So what did I need to experiment with? God's giving us that. And so that's what's showing up for me.
Look at Dr. Vibe deep in thought.
Okay. So I always like to bring up lots of different things that are going on in my alleged mind. So many years ago, I think all of us remember there was a company called Starter. No one remembers that company. There was an athletic company called Starter. Maybe. Well,
Nah, it might have been you Canadians.
it's an American. It's an American company, guy. But they did athletic equipment. They had a T-shirt line with different sayings, and I always remember one of them saying, "It all starts with you." So that there's a lot of things going on in my mind. That's one of the things going on in my mind. I think also you still have me thinking about this. We're getting closer together. Line though from the beginning. That's an interesting line. That's a very. I'm gonna have to have that as a takeaway and simmer on that one.
Yeah, I mean,
What's your
it's
reaction to that? What is it? Why does it? Get your spidey senses?
Yeah, and I'm sure we walk in enough environments where people are divided. If we want division, let's just go on a social media platform and you see a division there. So I agree with everyone that I think some of us are getting closer. I can't say.
yeah, but here's the thing: we only need one and a little more out of four, because the tipping point, when we get 26.6 there, water boils. 26.6 molecules in the pot of boiling water. When they hit that temperature, the pot boils automatically. Whole thing just goes. I think the same thing happens with us. Like we've seen how. All right, you got the island where there's 4 islands. Pilgrims showed up to one island. They found potatoes. The monkeys on the island were like, what are they doing? Dug. They found potatoes, started eating potatoes. The other islands just started of the monkeys on other islands, couldn't talk to each other, nothing. They started eating potatoes. We are the same. Like, a thought goes through, and I used to be like, because I was, younger and more arrogant about my own thoughts. I thought, this is my thought.
Arrogant?
I had that. I had that at one point, and so it was like, this is my thought, and then it would show up in someone else's deal, and I'd be like, they're just copying. That's plagiarism. Then I started to realize, wait a minute. Oh, if I go buy a Jeep, why do I see more Jeeps? If I buy a Porsche, why do I see more Porsches? If I buy this, why do I see it? Because it becomes reality when it starts to really infuse in here. And that's why, for me, like Ubuntu, where everybody gets there together, someone's foot will hit first. I don't care how quick and how short that time passes, that their foot hits the top of the mountain first, or hits the blanket, or all the different ways that they've expanded Ubuntu. For those that don't know, look it up. But someone's automatically gets there just the fraction ahead of everybody else. So when we do that, we will all get there together, especially if we're walking in the same way and we want to get to the same place. We will start to get there, but one person will have to get us there. I'm running that race. And I'm okay if someone else beats me, because I'll be like, woo, I don't have to take the next step. like, thank you for getting us there. Pull me in. I'll have my hand up. Like, get me in the boat too. I'm okay with that. There is no competition, because when we get there, we all get there. You can look at all the different things. People are like, electricity is almost expanding through the globe. We got to be more than where we were. I haven't seen this stat in so long, but this is like maybe 15 years ago. Only 30% of the world had internet. We're way past that now. So we're getting there. We just have to stay the course, to me. And that means that no matter what, I go further and further down this path. It used to be, you guys have heard me for years, peace, 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 peace. It has become God first, and me get out of the way and just get God here, because it's the one controlling it. And I'm just there, like, and it's beyond the idea of someone's religion. I love a friend of mine. I'm going to put the link up in here. A friend of mine wrote this movie and documentary. It's called Illusion. And one of the best things I took away from that was looking at a rainbow. A rainbow is the sun, the light shining through, and the reason why you get the different perspectives, it's all the light, but you get the different colors of the rainbow because it's hitting at different perspectives through whatever it is that's creating the rainbow. But it's all the light. So you've got purple. Let's say purple is Christianity. You've got red is Muslim. I'm just naming things. It doesn't mean that that's where they are. But they're all these different colors. They're all part of the light that the rainbow is created. But if you only look at the rainbow, you will only see that one color. But it's really, we got to get back to the light. And when we all get back to that light, I just think it's going to be absolutely glorious.
Let me ask them, Sid, for people to move forward, can they do it on their own?
We all must walk the path in a sense. Can they do it on their own? Possibly. I bucked the system. I walked away from. So actually, now as I'm saying this, I walked away from Christianity, Catholicism. Not that I walked away from Jesus, because that's been my homeboy all my life. But I walked away from how it was expressed, only to find myself back in a different way. So I don't think that, Rumi says what you seek has always been seeking you. I added a couple words. It's seeking us. Like, does God even exist if we don't give it meaning? Yes, it exists because it's the thing that created everything, but if we don't give it meaning, like, I'm not sure that the hawk sitting outside or the eagle up on the if it's even thinking about it, it's just doing its thing. But actually, God is there. It does exist. But because we keep giving it so much meaning, we are actually growing even God. It's a relationship. It's not God just doing God. God created a relationship with everything around it. And so I feel like, for me, we have to be in relationship. And as my elders say, in right relationship. Because the wrong relationship, not that it's wrong in the sense that you're going to be in this dark place the rest of your time. It will get you there, but it's not the easy path by any stretch. And so I just feel like there's something to getting to the light, that light that's creating all the perspectives.
I love that, Sid. I think it goes back to what I had said before, is we can look at it in the macro, and we can also look at it on the micro and be able to determine for ourselves, like, what relationship do we have with us? And I think that becomes the pebble in the pond that creates that ripple effect that kind of connects us one and another. When you were talking before, I was thinking about vibration and frequency, which, 10 years ago, you would have said that to Christopher, and I'd have been like, yeah, vibration, frequency, those are sound waves. But then I've understood much better, and especially in the last 3 years, that we emit a frequency. Our attitude, our love emits a frequency, and if we can get more people to join that frequency, that's where that big change starts to come into impact. And I can hear people watching this and listening to this thinking, well, I'm just me. I'm dealing with my own problems. I got my own shit going on. I don't know how to do this connected thing to source, and Jesus let me down. What I say to those people is, like, again, go back and repair that relationship with yourself and make yourself whole. And you can't do it by yourself. I see a lot of people that are struggling with loneliness. They're struggling with financial debt. They're struggling with uncertainty. I see it every single day. And I'm like, okay, what's one thing that you can do today by which doing so can bring a little piece of that back? What can we do? And I've had people like, when's the last time you played? Played with Legos or colored or went to a park or went to an amusement park. When's the last time you actually played like you did as a kid? Because, like you mentioned before, when we're kids, we're in the flow. We're in the flow. We're in God's grace. We're with spirit guides around us. And then it's the monkey mind. It's the human brain that starts to take control and rewrite a lot of our perspectives about that connectedness, about that trust. And so what I've been inviting people to do is, what can you do to start to trust yourself a little bit more? What can you do to start to trust the world around you, that it's unfolding, and you can either look at it happening to you and become a victim, or you can look at it happening for you and sit there and say, okay, like my tattoo says, what doesn't kill me makes me stronger. And that's what I had to do yesterday. There was 2 points on this information that I received, and immediately I asked God to help me process it. And then immediately I was reminded of my friend who is healthier than isopropyl alcohol. He's just got stage 4 NET cancer. So he's going into the cancer ward tomorrow and potentially having his bowels reconstructed. And I just started looking thing after thing after thing. I'm like, yeah, my thing sucks. But in the grand scheme of things, if I choose to be a victim over it and like, why me? And this is bullshit. And I did this and I did this and I did this. Or I stop and sit there and say, it is what it is. What are the 3 things that I can potentially do to make an impact on it? And let's focus on that. And I think that's what people listening and watching need to do, is find that reconnectedness to themselves, start loving themselves more, start taking better care to not spew out all this anger and hatred, because that's just the mirror pointing back at us and things that we don't like in ourselves. So that's what I'm helping people do, and becoming more playful, finding forgiveness. So many people are carrying around this animosity and this anger for their parents and for the people that wronged them. And they're walking around and they're wondering why they're not happy. They're wondering why they're not finding relationships. It's because they're carrying, look at this bag. Look at all the shit I've been through. It's like, I ask people, like, what would it be like if you just let it go? Let it go and say, you know what, that no longer defines me. That was a point in my life that is now just electrical energy in my brain. I'm going to choose to respond more to love and to more to caring and more to not being selfish with myself, but like really seeking out people that are brighter and smarter than me that can help me identify where my roadblocks are and get past those. And as you incrementally get past those, you find yourself being whole again. And I think that ultimately leads back to the bigger process of love and God's guidance and things of that nature in the world over. Those are just my thoughts. Love your guys' feedback on that.
You know, I agree. I 100% about it's a process, it's in a journey. So I love how you shared, Chris. There was a moment 3 years ago where there was a shift. And I believe that in our journeys in life, there'll be, like for me now, it's decisions and moments for me in life. And when I've had some of those moments where there's been a shift that just changed trajectory of how I look at things, and I realize that I gotta submit because I can't control everything. At the best of times, I can control myself. That's at the best of times. And first of all, acknowledging it, and then admitting it, and then the hard part, living it consistently. Mm-hmm. Because you have situations like you had yesterday. Those moments are going to come up, right? And especially if you believe in a higher power, the closer you get in alignment to that, the more those attacks are going to happen. So I hear where you're coming from with that.
Thank you.
You know, I think for me, one thing is, like I said this at the end of our Bible study today. What hit me was a couple things. One was, if God created everything, then everything is a creation from God. You don't get to say, okay, well, but the devil. Like, no, actually, if you're saying it's everything, then it's just everything. And if love is everything, then everything is love. Okay, so those are like baseline things for me. Like, if you're going to put those as stamps, you got to live those out continually. So then I'm looking at, all right, what is it that this creator, God, did to get here? And why did it create that thing for the betterment of me? And typically what that looks like, I don't care if you're getting closer to the devil, the further you get and the closer you get to these things that are negative, that's God saying, hey, baby, you're going in the wrong direction. Go that way. And that's real for me. And so I look at what it is to have this life that I'm living. There's a start, there's a finish. There's a start, there's a destination. I don't care if the destination is I'm leaving Earth. At some point, we're all going to hit some destination. And just enjoy the process. All the steps in between, from me planting my feet saying I'm bringing this movie forward. And then God says, yeah, but I'm going to tweak this. Come back in, everybody tells me, hey, we got to redo the movie. What do you mean? We just spent 10 years on it. We're going to redo it. And you got to think about it in this way. Okay, cool. Moves right through. And then, okay, here we are. And then they're like, but what about this? Like, what about making it this way so that when your music comes in, we've actually taken people through your music. Oh, okay, got to go rewrite, do all these montages, da-da-da-da-da. Like, and that's okay. And I'm just enjoying the process. I think that's the big part. Like, we're in it right now. Okay. Do we have problems? Yeah, we got a laundry list. Rewind. Go listen to the laundry list that these two guys came through. You know, half the stuff y'all were saying, I had to sit there and go, damn, where is that in my brain? Like, straight up. Like, when I look at the major problem is, that's it. We got to get back to God. Get back to God, then things shift. Things just shift. And some people, like some of these different thinkers beyond the Bible, right? Like there's people that are thinking outside of the Bible now. They say Earth is doing this. It's separating itself. And if you look back, remember I mentioned the cell. Cell took all its negative stuff, sent it away, kept its other stuff, divided itself in half. It's all doing that. Like, here's the things. Okay, there's going to be people that are living in a different light, and they're going to move in this direction and this other light. And even though they may actually still be like this, they won't even see each other. They won't even see each other. Because it's just not your frequency. It's not your vibration. And so you won't live it. Stop living in hell and you're here. Like, really, stop living in hell and here so that heaven can exist. But if you're living in hell in here, you're going to get to experience it. And I don't care if it's you're doing it just because you see yourself as this savior, as this person to go correct everything. But if you're living it in here because you see it out here, it's actually in here that you are even seeing it out there. And when I got really clear with that in my life, I just started saying, nah, I got to stop. That I can't even play anymore. I can't play in the people that want to have conversations all the time about racism. People that want to have conversations all the time about politics. What I do know this. I know this for sure. There's the three of us here right now. The conversation is different. If we go back and just look 2 weeks ago, the conversation is different. Not everybody's meant to be in this conversation. And that's okay. It doesn't make it right or wrong. It's just a different conversation. It doesn't need to be anything to me. It's just a different conversation, and I want to be in this kind of conversation. Like, I really do. I want to be in this kind of conversation that allows me to live this kind of conversation. I'm done wasting time. I don't want to live in hell. If you want to live in hell, hey, more power to you. I'll give you a plane ticket. Whatever you need to get there. I'm not going with you. Like, that's just real for me. And I'm looking for the people, as Jesus said when he was asked, is this your mother and father and sister and brothers? And he said, my family are the ones that practice this way. And I get it. People might get upset. I don't give a rat's ass. If you get upset with me saying that, go find your people. I'm not it. Go find your people. I'm not it. And that's why I don't get rid of people. I just know the door's open. If you need to walk out that SOB, walk it out. Walk out. Go out the door. We don't need to be together because I'm going to stay here, planted feet, 10 toes down, ready to go. And I'm excited, and I collect good people. I really do. You need a good person in your life? Tell me what you need them for. I will have somebody because I collect good people because I know that in that space we all grow together. And it's just a beautiful thing. I really, yeah, that's it. I just got the discipline and the consistency to stay the course no matter what. And I'm blessed that God gave me someone that walks it with me and my wife.
So there you go. You've got someone walking with you, right? And also you mentioned another thing, answering the question, what do you have to focus on to move forward? I think for a lot of people, I myself, discipline. Discipline is foundational. Discipline and preparation as much as possible, but discipline very much so.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, it's discipline is. I'm blessed that discipline at the level of sports that I played, it took discipline. Like, and then coaching, I learned how to coach that level of discipline. And now it's such a easy place for me to do that. And Tip asks, who's walking with me? One, Jesus, and has been all my life, but I wasn't walking with Jesus all my life. But Jesus is definitely walking with me. My wife is walking with me. My son now, like Bible study at 6 a.m. on Wednesdays, 2,000 guys. There's a lot of people walking with me. And I'm not saying you got to go become a Christian, because I'm not that person to tell you that you got to do that. You can go try it out however you want. I know what's working for me, so don't ask me to come with you on some other path. It's not personal. This is just working for me, so why would I go somewhere else? Like, someone asked me, about divorce, and I'm like, well, it's always both people's fault. Why? Because nobody leaves perfect. Like, nobody. Look, if a divorce happened over cheating, as they call it, I don't think it's cheating, it's just a weird word to use, but whatever. A divorce happens over someone leaving, going outside of the marriage. Nobody leaves perfect. So if they left in the first place, you might want to look inside and say, damn, how did I help create this? Because nobody leaves perfect. And it's like that for me. Like, yeah, it's just like that. I don't get hung up in the words. I know Tip is asking something about the words. I don't get hung up on the words. The words? God said I am, supposedly. And I'm okay. And I trust that. Why do I trust that? Because when I say I am and I put anything behind it, I become. So God's creating that becoming because I've actually voiced it, which the original thinker, God, whatever you want to call it, had that thought for me. So I'm just good. I'm good surrendering. I've surrendered to it. And I love all the questions, because I was one to question, because I wanted to get to the truth. And when I got here, I don't have any questions. I just don't have them. I'm good. And then I would say, are you good? Whoever wants to question what's coming out of my mouth. Are you good? Because if so, you'll be good with whatever you have and don't need to question me on where I am. It's okay. Like, it's just a beautiful journey. And I'm happy to be here now. God put me in a place. Whatever you want to say, put me in this place. I am teaching in a place where there are 1,000 billionaires and everybody else is a millionaire. Everybody else. Nobody that isn't a millionaire, isn't a billionaire, is coming to those classes I'm about to teach at 4 o'clock. Nobody else is coming to those classes. I don't know what to tell you. But the truth is what I just said. Nobody else is coming to those classes. So somehow they are in a vibration where they get to hear it. Nobody else does. And I'm here to tell you, for some reason, when I'm talking to them, I feel like a different teacher. I'm in that room. I feel different. I know the words that I've done it all over. When I travel and teach, those words start to come out. But I'm here to tell you, it's like that. and it's just real. There's nothing for me to argue about anymore. It's like, okay, I hear you. You get to choose that, but I'm gonna be over here enjoying the process. Yeah.
Good stuff. Christopher, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I was just catching up and reading the comments, trying to understand them a little bit more. But yeah, I think it really is. It's about we're all on our own journey. We're all on our own path, and I think it's important for us, rather than closing our peripheral down and being myopic and saying, okay, this is the world according to me, this is everything. I think kind of what you're saying, Sid, and this is where I pride myself on being very positive, is opening that bandwidth to say, okay, what's possible? What is it perhaps that I used to point my finger at and say, oh, it's ridiculous? What can I look at it now and say, okay, how can some of that apply to me? And that's where I've gotten into the spiritual side of life, the love and the frequency and all that stuff that I normally would not have been a part of. Normally I would have been, nope, I know what it is. I base my facts on science. I base my facts on proven situations. But because I've allowed myself to open and kind of play with different concepts and different religions and different ideologies, it has helped me open my heart to larger possibilities and probabilities of things that I only thought were real in movies. And so I think what you're saying is an invitation for people out there listening and watching to this conversation to say, okay, what can I do on my spiritual side, whether it is religion or spirituality or whatever it might be? What is it that I can do to reconnect a little bit more to my soul and expand that out a little bit and to be able to see things like I think I said the other week, I can see things through the lens of love, or I can see things through the lens of fear. And that really is all that it comes down to. So we have to decide for ourselves, okay, if I'm thinking in terms of fear and scarcity and violence and all that stuff, what is that ultimately going to do for me? What is that going to do for my family that I'm protecting? Or not without having blinders on, but be able to say, okay, I'm going to look through things through a lens of love. And perhaps like what I do is I figure perhaps it's got to get bad before it gets better. And if I look back on world history and geographic history and things of that nature, sometimes it has gotten worse for it to get better. And so I have to have that level of trust in my heart and do what I can do for my family, but also trust in that the bigger picture is going to work out for itself, and that I'm a cog in that. I'm a part of that by what I emit from my own self. And I've been helping quite a lot of people with that. Some people are very angry and very pointed and blaming and using labels, and I'm going to get back at those people. And I feel absolute sorrow and sadness for them and how that they're going to continue living on their life when, everything works out. And I believe that everything works out. But again, it comes back to us and what we're doing for ourselves in our world that we should be focused on the most, as opposed to pontificating and blaming and theorizing about what other people should or shouldn't do.
Love it. Doc, what's your close up? What you got?
I'll make it really short and sweet. That for men and those who love them, if men want to move forward, men have to pay attention to what builds life, not what just looks strong. That means better health, better habits, better relationships, and better accountability.
Yeah, I'm going to leave it with this, because we just finished 10 weeks of 2,000 guys coming together, studying the Bible. And is it about the Bible? To many of them, yes. And more importantly to me, it's about the commitment in their hearts. All these guys showing up, committed in their heart to creating a revival, a reconnect to God, moving forward in their lives. And then I watched today as we took pictures, different people, different groups taking pictures, and they had their next generation there. Like if it's worth it, the next generation will pick it up. The fruit of your labors will show up. So if nobody's picking it up and you're pouring in some of this weirdness that Doc's deleting on the comments and stuff like that, if you're a one-man cult, that ain't it. If nobody's following your message, that ain't it. Like, it just is real like that. So, yeah, keep getting on and moving forward. Find peace in your life. enjoy everything that comes, because it's coming. All right, we'll see you soon. Peace.
I've been at peace for so long. It seems like I've been sitting all alone. Would you know when the crew is coming through? They're the ones that will make anew. Gotta go, gotta flow, gotta choose the truth. We the ones that will raise the roof. Let's roll up and throw down. Let's go and feel the sound. Good vibes, one tribe. Can you feel me now? Be you, be me, be free. Go and take it till we bounce the beat. Take it to the streets, make a move the feet. I can slow it down, look in my eyes now. Just like you two want it fast. Spread them wings and make it last. God was the one to erase the past. Time to bring it forward to see the forecast. Did you hear it? Did you hear it? Lift your dreams and fill the glass. Did you hear it? Did you hear it? Lift your dreams and fill the glass. That was God's broadcast. That was God's broadcast. Time to embrace the peace. Time to embrace the peace.